Well, good morning. And today is day 2 of the Pantry Challenge. This morning I'm making breakfast burritos, but before I can do that, I need to make some flour tortillas. And I am going old school. I'm going Sonoran style, super thin, super sturdy, super soft flour tortillas. I have literally been making them for 50 plus years. I'm going to do it in real time, show you all my tips and tricks, because once you can make a really good flour tortilla, you can do a lot with that. All right, so let's get cooking. I'm making some flour tortillas. I have 3 cups of flour, about 1/3 cup of lard from our pigs. And if you just, you get to the point you don't have to measure the lard, it's just a good handful in my hand. It's about 1/3 cup. I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. Mix that all in. I'm just going to start working the dough, breaking up all the lard. That looks pretty good. Now make a little well, and I have 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of hot water, and I'm just going to start incorporating the water into the flour, mixing it. The water is very hot. It's above scalding, so be very careful that you don't burn your hands. All right, now we're just going to turn this out onto the counter and knead it for quite a bit of time, maybe like 7 minutes. That will give you some really good tortillas. So I'm just going to continue to knead for about 7 minutes, and I'll be right back. I kneaded this for a good 7 minutes. That's like the most crucial part. I kind of have a heavy hand, so if you're new to kneading dough, maybe go 10 minutes. I have a little bit of lard, and I'm just going to warm it in my hands and just make sure that I coat the dough ball with the lard. Cover it with the plastic wrap. Cover it with a clean kitchen towel and just let this rest. These are going to be the best tortillas. It's been about 45 minutes. We're going to take off the plastic wrap, and we're going to start forming the dough into little balls. Usually I get 12 to 14 tortillas. It just depends on the day. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these portioned out. I'm going to put a little bit of lard in my hands and rub them together to warm it up. And then just go ahead and roll out the dough. You can roll it in your hand, like so, on the countertop. Another way to do it is like this on the countertop. all you want to do is to get it into a nice round ball. There we go. Let me get the rest of these rolled up. I'll slow it down for you. That's kind of how I do it, with my thumb. All right, we're on the counter. And as needed, just add a little bit of lard to your hands, rub them together, and then just roll out the rest of the balls. I'm going to cover with the plastic wrap, and again with a clean kitchen towel. In the meantime, I'm going to be heating up my big iron skillet over medium-high heat for probably 10 minutes. So we're just going to let these rest while that heats up. My iron skillet is heated up, so let's get these tortillas going. I'm just going to put a little bit of, ooh, that's a lot. I don't want that much. A little bit of flour. And we're going to take one of these dough balls and just start shaping it. Into a tortilla shape. And let me get my rolling pin here. And I like to just roll it from the center up and then roll this back. It makes like a little sandal shape, and then I just turn it. Repeat. And that kind of helps you get a round shape. Sometimes tortillas can kind of look like a, I don't know what, like crazy. But this seems to help me keep it into that round shape. And then, you know, as you get better, you can go faster and just do it. And I like the really thin flour tortillas. You should be able to almost see the counter when you get done rolling these. All right. And you can see how beautiful this dough is because we rested it. That's really important, to rest your dough with these flour tortillas. All right, we're going to keep rolling this out. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure, just a little bit. I'm already seeing the counter through my tortilla here. Usually for every 10 grams of the weight of the dough is about an inch tortilla. So that can kind of give you an indication. That's a rough estimate. So you know when you're sizing your dough balls, if you have a kitchen scale, you can estimate how big your tortilla is going to be. I guess that's a little trivia tortilla fact. All right, we're getting there. These are just going to be breakfast tortillas, so. Don't need them really, really big. Almost there. And the flavor of the tortillas are so much better, the texture, than store-bought. It takes a little effort, but you know, once you get used to making them, you know, I'm already in the kitchen doing other things, so I just, you know, it's just a little bit of effort, and they taste so much better than store-bought. Once you master it, oh. Now I have my skillet on medium-high heat because it's been heating up for about 10 minutes or so. And I just know, because I've made them so many times, that I turn it down to medium, closer to medium when I'm actually cooking the tortillas. I just put it on medium high just to kind of get it to warm through, because you really want to warm your skillet up and take that extra step. All right. Now, you can see my counter. I hope it's showing up in the video. You can see the counter right through the tortilla. It's pretty thin. All right, we're going to take this right over to the skillet. All right, right over here to the iron skillet. I can't really make it that much bigger because my skillet's not that big. But you can see the heat seems like it's pretty right on. You have a lot of the bubbles forming. Oh, look at that. These are so good. I think I'm going to turn the heat down just ever so slightly. And this is going to go right into, I have a kitchen towel here. Place the tortilla right here in my towel. In a tortilla, you should be able to roll it up and it's not cracked. Like, you don't want a tortilla that's crispy. All right, we're just going to put this here and I'm going to roll out the next one and we'll repeat the process, and these are going to be the best tortillas you ever made. I'm crisping up 6 slices of bacon that I cut into strips. We're also going to make a delicious salsa. In my saucepan, I have 4 tomatillos and a jalapeno from the garden this summer. I froze them. I took them right out of the freezer, stuck them right in the pan. Small piece of onion, 3 cloves of garlic, and 7 of the dried chili de arbos and 2 of the dried guajillo chilies. I covered them with water, bringing to a simmer, and will simmer for 10 minutes. I put half a cup of fresh water in my blender along with all the ingredients that have simmered for 10 minutes. We're going to get this blended up. In my frying pan, I have a tablespoon of avocado oil, and I'm just going to add that salsa, bring it to a simmer, and simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's been about 10 minutes. We're going to get this wonderful salsa in a bowl. Just let me double check the seasoning. Oh, perfect. Just the right amount of salt. Into the fridge it goes. We want to chill the salsa. I added some scrambled eggs that I have a soft scramble on them. We're just going to add some of the crispy bacon that we rendered all the fat out, some Monterey Jack cheese that I grated, and some of that wonderful salsa we made. And this is going to be one of the best breakfast burritos on the cheap. Look at that. For dinner, we're making pan-seared chicken thighs, mashed potatoes, a nice pan sauce, and green beans. In my iron skillet, I heated it up for about 10 minutes, and I just put a little bit of avocado oil, enough to coat the bottom. We're going in with some salt and peppered chicken thighs. I patted them dry and then seasoned them. We're going to cook them until we can get a good sear on them with good color, and then we'll finish the chicken thighs in the oven, and they'll cook in there. Place the frying pan right into a 425 degree oven and finish cooking the chicken. So you cook them until they're about 175 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and take them and put them on a plate, and then I want to make a really nice pan sauce. I'm just going to let the chicken rest for a few minutes while I make the pan sauce. I drained off most of the fat, maybe had like 1 or 2 tablespoons left in the pan, and I added a few tablespoons of compound garlic butter. Now I'm just going to add some flour, probably like 1/4 cup worth, and cook this for a couple of minutes. It's been a couple of minutes. I'm adding 2 cups of a homemade chicken stock. We're going to bring this up to temperature and cook it for a few minutes. Let it thicken and scrape the bottom of the pan, get all the fond off. That's where there's so much flavor. I just tasted for seasoning. I need to add a little bit of salt and some pepper. And I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Just going to eyeball it. And this is going to make some delicious gravy for that chicken and mashed potatoes. Very flavorful. I found some fresh parsley in the fridge. I chopped a couple of tablespoons up. We'll just add that to the pan sauce, and we're going to call this done. I have a couple heads of garlic. I drizzled some olive oil on top of them. I'm going to wrap them up in this foil and put them in a 350 oven and roast them for the mashed potatoes tonight. And this is what they look like. I'm just going to let these cool thoroughly, and I'm going to use them to make garlic roasted mashed potatoes tonight for dinner. In my bowl, I have about 6 tablespoons of a compound garlic butter. I have all of that roasted garlic that I prepared earlier in the day. It is sweet and mild in flavor. It's going to add so much to these mashed potatoes. I have salt and pepper. Just going to drain the potatoes, which I've been boiling on the stove until fork tender, into the bowl here. I'm going to add as much cream that I need to get the consistency of a nice mashed potato. I'm just going to use my potato masher to mash these, and it's going to be great. That looks like those are pretty good consistency. I did add a little bit more salt, and they are now perfect. Let's go ahead and plate up dinner. We're going to have 2 of these little thighs per plate. Some of that wonderful pan sauce that we made. I'm going to put a little bit on my potatoes too. And we have some green beans. I just pan fried them in some garlic butter, seasoned with salt and pepper. And let's clean up the plate a little bit. There we go. Let's give this a taste test. And a bite of that chicken. So good.